me, Sam, and this is By Hook or By Needles. And yeah, I know, I think I'm a little bit behind again. I've sort of skipped day 13, but maybe not in some parts of the world. Anyway, I'm doing a double powder here. I'm doing number 13 and number 14 together because I've got no idea where I am at the moment. And let me explain why. A few days ago, I got the brilliant news that my daughter's fiance is pregnant with my very, very, very first grandchild. So, it's just like, wow, yes. I mean, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because, well, I just knew it was coming. Anyway, so that started me. And I've been doing this for days. That started me going through all my pattern books and looking for stuff for babies. So I remembered, I thought, yeah, I got all these when I was pregnant with my daughter. So it's only appropriate, I guess, that I should, you know, have these out again now. So, I mean, I love these booties that I got because they got, like, skates, and they've got Mary Jane shoes, and they got, like, I don't know what you know, just sort of moccasin type shoes, I guess. Little football boots, and are they called high tops? I'm not really up with it, but I just love the little hats as well. It's such an easy hat because it's just squared off, and oh, the little pixie hats. Mind you, these days, health and safety would say the ties shouldn't be that long. There is regulations that, you know, ties should be only a certain length because they're a choking hazard and all that. And that's fair enough, I guess. What else is in this book? On the back, that's a nice one too. A little, I guess another little pixie hat. And there's also some more mittens in this book. And some traditional booties. Yeah, so I kind of thought I should really drag this out and, you know, make some booties. Oh, baby is due 18th of May. So I do know what they are having, but I've been told to keep my mouth shut. So the chances that anybody who knows them and knows me, you know, would be watching me and find out is slim, but they're having a non-money raffle, you know, not gamble, a non-raffle sort of pick the date and everything and sex and everything. So I've got to keep my mouth shut. And she wouldn't tell me the sex of the baby until after I'd done my thing, and I got it wrong. So yeah. So now I want to do another one. But anyway, so there's some more cute little hats. I like this one too. It's such a sweet one. And that one's good because it looks like it's just got like a little button under the chin, which kind of reduces the choking hazard. Not that I know of many parents who would put their kid to bed with a hat on. Hoods, yes, you know, hoods attached to sleeping bags maybe. But yeah, so... But, yeah, so I dug out that. That was the first thing I dug out. And what else did I dig out? And this one I dug out because I actually made this blanket in yellow for my daughter. And I'm just going to see, yeah, there's a bigger pattern, not picture of it. I actually made this. All I managed to do, though, was get the centerpiece done. I didn't get the edging done at all. So I did think, well, maybe I'll try and do this again, but actually finish it. I'm turning pages off screen because I don't want to obviously reveal any part of the pattern. This is quite nice. I think this is done in a fisherman's rib, which is a bit like, I'm sorry, the glare is terrible. It's this light I use, but you know, I think I should have been using my ring light. That might be better. But anyway, that comes with a hat. This book has both crochet and knitted, which is great. And these are gorgeous little booties. See, these are like, a bit like Mary Jane's, but different. Oh, I've never noticed that. Yeah. Got the Peter Pan book. My favorite book, one of the first novels, I guess, I ever read from beginning to end. And look at that one. Isn't that nice? They're all really lovely. I love this one because it's only got a couple of buttons. But I love the bolero sort of style to it. But yeah, so, and it's got boy-y stuff and girly stuff, so, you know, that's kind of cute too. And I love the little double-breasted one down here. You know, that's kind of cute. So yeah, I've been going through all of my, it's a crochet blanket. See, maybe I could do that too. That might be a bit quicker to do as well. But, yeah, so I've been going through all of my crochet books and knitting books and, you know, that I had for kids, for my kids. And, oh, I really like this one. Darn glare is driving me nuts, but I really like this one as well. I love the panel laced down the front. That's really, really nice. Oh, long johns. With buttons all down the leg, so that's clever. I mean, you need that when you've got a baby. They, you know, you gotta get them bottom end out without having to completely undress them, especially in the middle of the night. We all know why. And that's pretty too. So, yeah, I've been going through all of my baby stuff. What else have I got? Oh no, they're all my patterns. Now this book, I got it in 1987. There you go. And the reason I got it was I wanted to make, oh dear, can I show just, yep. I wanted to make that. And I did, but not for my baby. I can't remember whose baby I made it for. But that's 1987. I wasn't... Oh, I know whose baby it might have been. No, she wouldn't have been pregnant. No, I don't know whose baby I made that for. But I did love it. And, yeah, very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. And that's the reason I got that one. And I thought, well, I might make that again. The only problem with that is they did not consider buttons... down the leg. So if I did make that, I'd have to make sure that I put a zip or something down the legs. What else? I got this book, but it's not got really much baby stuff. Now this I love. Look at that. Now this, oh, damn glare. This is, boy or girl. Now it's got like a little pinafore. Now, once again, I'd probably put just in the crotch area some buttons. I wouldn't have it joined just so that they can get the bottom out. For easier changing of nappies and things. But this pattern comes with a jumper as well as the dungarees or whatever you want to call them. But it also has a little girl set where it's a little pinafore dress with a jumper, and you can put elephants or flowers on the border, which I thought is great. But you could put elephants on the pinafore. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't sort of, you know, make this for a girl as well as a boy, and vice versa. Well, maybe not. Well, that would be easier to change at night. You might make that perhaps as a nighty, a bedtime thing. But so I found, what else did I find? I found so much stuff. And I found that I have got millions. Oh, this darn light has that. Does that stop the glare? Hang on. That sort of stops the glare, doesn't it? Except it's in my eyes now, but, you know, I'd rather in my eyes than glaring. I love cable. I've always loved cable. And I found all these patterns that I've ripped out from books. And look at this one. This is actually, it's got an alphabet on the back, which I can't show you because it's obviously all graphs. But it's got an alphabet on the back and all the animal. Has it got the animals? Yeah, it's got some animals. But I guess you use the plastic, the plastic mesh, and you can make like building blocks for your kid, which is quite cute. Can't show you that one. Oh, this is another one. Now this is another one I bought way back, and it's just, yeah, well, World of Vintage Toys. So you've got your tiger and your zebra and your wolf and your pig and your, I don't know what that's, a cat, just a normal cat, maybe. Kangaroo with a little Joey. The emperor penguin and your fairy penguin. Your orangutan, your koalas, and your snake. And, yeah, I kind of like them. And they are really, really pretty. Oh, there's a turtle as well, and a chicken and a baby chicken. And a striped thing. Okay, Sam, you know you're really showing your ignorance of worldly animals. Okay, and this one, the knitted book of ABC toys. Now, how many of us can recognize, you know, these? I know a lot of Australians will, because they are ABC TV characters, and ABC is not American broadcasting, it's Australian broadcasting TV, and so as Australians we got a lot of British shows. So you got your Postman Pat with his black and white cat. You got your, what were they called? Misfit Toys. But they weren't like Misfit Toys from Santa's Island or something. Getting to drink. He was back to front, like his head was on back to front. That part I remember, but I can't remember. And there was she was a princess, but she was like a really ugly princess supposedly, because she had a big nose and her dress was rags and all that sort of thing. And Sack of something, I think he was called. I mean, all the names would be in the book, but Humpty Dumpty, Jemima, Big Ted. Most people would know those. Anyone who watched Jonathan and Friends? Johnston and Friends? Need a drink of water. Not sure who he is, though. Then there's a pig, and then there's Inspector Gadget, and the bananas in pajamas, and the accordion. The accordion, the water bottle, and Johnson were all from one show. And I don't know where the purple cow comes from. Maybe he's another misfit toy. And I don't know about these gnomes. But anyway, I'm sure it's all in there. It tells me all in there. Oh, here we go. Fido. I have no idea who Fido is, but there you go. It's Fido. Let's have a... Oh, yes. And my favorite. I wonder how many people watched David the Gnome and Lisa. That's who they are. David the Gnome and Lisa. Not sure who they are, but there you go. That's what they're called. Postman Pat and Jess. Yeah, Inspector Gadget, we've already sort of seen. And let me see if I can sort of show. I won't be able to show him in one piece because then I'll be showing the pattern as well. But this is Mr. Squiggle, and he had a pencil for a nose. And what happened was, Mr. Squiggle lived in outer space. And kids would send in, like, squiggles. Oh, his name is Sad Sack. There you go, Sad Sack. That's what they were called, the raggedy dolls, because they were, yeah, raggedy. Yeah, see, she's the princess with the rags. He's back to front, and he's, I don't know what's wrong with him. Sad. Maybe he wasn't meant to be sad. Anyway, I like his bow tie. I forgot completely. Oh, yes, Mr. Squiggle. He was a space person or something, and he came down in his little space rocket, and then he would make drawings from the squiggles that children sent in. Hence his name, Mr. Squiggle. And the blackboard that he was would draw on used to always grumble. He was always in a bad mood, and he would always grumble, and he would say, hurry up, hurry up. Yeah, I watched way too much TV with my kids. I thought this is quite cute. But these are obviously for older kids. Little boleros and things. Oh, my mother made this for my son. And it's funny because she knitted the pattern. She followed the knitting pattern from left to right instead of from right to left. So all the bugles and everything were flipped. Not that it mattered. I mean, it was still fine, but it was just flipped. Got some more booties. Oh, this is a nice little, I think this is actually Tunisian. It looks like it's Tunisian. Oh no, it worked in double crochet, the tops and the flowers. Well, it looks like, oh, worked in double crochet, but it's single crochet, of course, because it's English. And this one I thought was quite cute. It's got a little road all the way around it as well. Oh, I'm going to have to make this once again. Going to have to do something with the legs. Can't have, you know, without ability to take it off easily. I quite like that. All ruffles are down here. That's crocheted, obviously. Yeah, so I mean, I've been sort of looking for patterns, and that's what I've been doing for days and days and days. And it's amazing the amount of baby patterns that I have. This one's with little bobbles, bubble flowers. I quite like that one too. Oh, I think that one's cute. I don't know if I can do them in smaller sizes or not. I'd have to sort of check that. So, yeah. So I'm going to be a grandma. And look what else I found. Yeah, it's got coffee stains all over it. And it's, I don't even know how old it is. Has it got a date on it? Now these are obviously cross-stitch designs, but I don't know if you remember what I said before, or when I was doing the when I was doing my Noel. Whoops, wrong way around. When I was doing my Noel. Oh gosh, Sam. Let me see the whole thing. When I was doing the Noel, I was talking about how, you know, if you can find some cross stitches patterns, they fit perfectly on this. They work out in ratio really, really great on a Tunisian simple crocheted background. So yeah, and I can't remember, but so I was going to go and look through all my cross stitch books, but I happened to find this, and I thought, well, this is, you know, pretty serendipitous, isn't it? It's pretty still glaring, pretty handy because it is Christmas. And yeah, so you could sort of do your panel, the same panel that I just did there of the Tunisian simple stitch crochet, and you could adapt any of these to put on the oh, that's the backing. I thought there was more pictures on the back, but the patterns are just, whoops, graphs. To show you quickly, they're just graphs. There's no written instructions for cross stitch It's all graphs, so, you know, oh, it go 1987 as well. It must have been when it was created, at least. So, yeah, I thought, okay, I've got that. I can do something for baby for Christmas of this year, and that sort of thing. But in amongst all of doing all of that, I did find a load of crochet stitches that were very, they call it palm trees. Personally, I think it just looks like a tree. Upside down, is it anything? No, not really. But, you know, I found a load of stitches, both knitting and crochet, which I can sort of share with you. What is that? Oh, that's that pattern. Which I can share with you coming up. But one of the things I wanted to show you that I'm going to do coming up next year is, and I've already shown this, I know, in some detail, but I just wanted to just, and it was, at the time, it was only just an idea that I was going to do this, but I think I will do one a month. So I got this calendar, and there's 12 characters for 12 festivals, and I thought, you know, I can make one a month for 12 months. So look forward to that. You know, I will start with the little Viking in January, and yeah, I will try to make one a month, and that shouldn't be too hard for me to do. And so I can sort of just show you, you know, the finished product every month. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been just crazy looking for patterns, baby patterns. Yeah, very excited, like I say. So yeah, but oh, and that's what I've got to do now too. You people are just amazing. I've got to tell you, I've got the best people who spread the word about me. Because I've actually gone up to 226 subscribers. Now, off screen, I did added a couple of more rows. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. And because I can't do math, I'm just going to get my calculator on my screen. 44 multiplied by 5. That's 220 subscribers. So I just need to add one more row. So I'm going to add another row of my knitting and crochet. But I'm getting to the stage now, I've noticed, that I'm really getting desperate for new colors. Because I don't want to repeat them too often. So I've got to find colors. I said, I can't. These are all new. Where did I put my other big ball of, I wonder if I've got enough of that. Yeah, I'm going to try this orange. This is the only orange I've got. Let's see if I've got enough orange to get me across. And I can start that. So, how is everybody been, other than me just sort of, you know, going crazy, making a mess of all my things, trying to, oops, no, I've got to come start at this end. Me making a mess, trying to find patterns. Yeah. So anyway, that's been my few days. And I don't know if, who watches Mrs. C. I mean, you know, who wouldn't? But, you know, I know there must be people out there who don't. And, hang on, I've got to type to this first. Mrs. C and I have got a little thing going where... Where's my little loop gone? Oh, dear, hang on. Mrs. C and I have got a little thing going where I have... there's a Australia-only postage Etsy seller here, and she really wanted one of the bags that this person sold, and so she emailed me and she said, can we do a swap? She said, if there's something you want that only like ships to USA or whatever that you would like, maybe I can, you know, you can purchase it, send it to me, and then I can forward it on to you. And I said, that's a brilliant idea. So that's what we're doing. So I've just had to send an email off to the woman who makes some sacks, because I want to do a custom one. So I'm hoping that she will respond with the price, and then I can pay and get her to send to Mrs. C, care of me, or care of me at Mrs. C, and yeah, and then she can forward that to me. I can forward her stuff to her, and we're both happy. We can get stuff that they can't or won't ship to Australia. And it's so hard because there's so much. Like, Premier will post to Australia, but it's hilarious. I just thought I'll pop in and have a look and just see how much Premier will charge to send me, you know, a couple of balls of yarn. So I put the balls in my cart and I went to like check out, and I went sort of through the checkout process to see, you know, what it would cost. And I think it was 70 US dollars for it to be posted to me. 2 balls of yarn. Now, I know that that's a complete and total rip-off because I ordered yarn, 2 skeins or 2 hanks of yarn, which were the same weight from Dawn Aaron Loving Hands, her handmade stuff. And that postage was only $30 US. So, yeah. Anyway, so I thought, well, $70 US works out for me to be around about 105 Australian dollars, and I thought, well, that's not happening. But yeah, so yeah, it's a bit sort of shocking. So never mind. We do have sellers in Australia that will sell like Premier, Bloom, and other projects, other yarns and whatnot. Sorry for that creak against my light. But the cost of them, even though the postage is obviously Australian postage, and so it's not so drastic, the cost of the yarn is sort of like double what it would be in the US, because obviously the person, you know, they've ordered it from the US, you know, they must have had some sort of, you know, deal or something with Premier or Hirschner's or whoever they've gotten the yarn from. They must have organised some sort of deal, and they, you know, perhaps get it in bulk or whatnot. But anyway, so the ball of yarn is, you know, I remember trying to get hold of Granny, or the Granny all-in-one, the Red Hearts. Now, hold on to your at 25 US, sorry, it's 25 Australian dollars plus postage per ball is what they were wanting us to spend here. Now, keeping in mind that, let's see, what can I buy for $25 in Australian yarn-wise? $25 would probably get me a 100-gram hank of indie-dyed yarn. It would probably get me it would almost get me a small drawstring bag for, you know, socks, for me, you know, a socks project bag. So to pay 25 Australian dollars for one ball of yarn, I thought, no, not going to happen. But I still wanted to try it. So what I found out was one of our yarn distributors here, called Spotlight, actually sell what they call mill-end bags. And this usually means there's something wrong with the yarn. It might be that the yarn colors are bled. It might be that you know, the ball is too tight. It might have lots of knots. It might, you know, there's lots of reasons. It might even have been just simply discontinued. The colors might be the wrong way round, or the ball might have been wound the wrong way round, so the colors go the wrong way. And I found out through the Facebook group that I belong to for the mill-end bags that they actually had, they were getting through a lot of Red Heart all-in-one grannies, but balls. Now, okay, so I think all-in-one is like 150 grams, or maybe it's even 200 grams a ball. Now, we have the mill ends sold here in a bag, and one bag is 400 grams minimum. So, and you get that, well, it's gone up a bit in price here. The bags used to be $10 a bag. I think they're now up to about $14 or $15 a bag, but they go on special at $10 a bag. Well, I bought a load of bags from somebody who'd bought some granny, who had picked up a load of the granny all-in-one square bags. And you know, because that's what you can identify the yarn easy enough. You know, you can see its red hearts, and you can see its granny square because of the way the colors, you know, color lengths and that sort of thing. So I picked up a few bags of that for $5 a bag instead. So each bag had at least 2 balls in it, 2 hanks, skeins, whatever you want to call them, of the granny all-in-one square. So that was a little bit cheaper because I just wanted to try it. I just wanted to play around with the yarn and, you know, to see that I could play with the yarn. And of course now they've got the flower power out. And I think, I'm not as interested in that though. I'm not as keen, I don't think, to try the flower power. I have heard it does flow a lot better. Mikey from the Crochet Crowd has actually, he gave them a lot of feedback when they did the yarn, and basically told them, no, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, and you need longer length or the last color so that people have got enough of a towel end to sew in, and then they've also got more of a starting towel end to start the next granny square, yada yada yada. And apparently, you know, he did a review where he crocheted up a few of the flower power granny squares, And yeah, he said, oh, it's much easier. As long as you can get that first round to work, he said the others fall in place. And because there is, he claims so much of the last colour left over, he said you really do, it doesn't matter what you do on those last few rounds, your tension could be really loose and you're still, according to him, you can still have heaps of leftover length for sewing in your ends and whatnot. So that and speaking of the crochet crowd and Mikey, I had to blink. He dropped a video today. I was watching Mrs. C, and I think it was just before she started, or just as she was going live, and I thought, oh, I've misread that, but I clicked on it to like watch later, and it's a new hat, and no, I had not read it incorrectly. It was a prophylactic hat. It's shaped like a prophylactic. Yes, it is. So yeah, have a look at that if you're interested, because even if you want to laugh, but it could be a handy gift to send to somebody. Yeah, because in Australia we would class that person as a head, because they've got a on their head, therefore they must be a head. And of course in Australia, if we call you a head, we love you, really. I mean, well, not always, but mostly, because that's just the way Australia works. We tend to insult you if we like you, and if we don't insult you or joke with you, that's when you need to be worried when you're in Australia. It's only when you get insulted and abused that people have accepted you. I dated an Italian guy in my youth when I was at school, and his dad came home from work very excited one day, and forgive me if I've told this story before, but I do love this story. It's hilarious. And he was very excited, and he got home from work, and he was talking to his wife in Italian, and his wife was like, oh, and then she's like, oh, and she's like, ah, and she's laughing, and I thought, oh, what's going on? And so I had sort of asked my boyfriend, I said, what's going on? Why is your dad so excited? And he said, he's excited because because his workmates called him a wog bastard, and honestly, and some people would get offended by that because they're not Australian and they're not living in Australia and they have no understanding of how Australians work. But he was just overjoyed at being called a wog bastard by his workmates, because he knew that it was a sign of acceptance. He'd been accepted by his workmates as being one of them, and that's just the way we used to be. I mean, this is going back in the 1980s, but it was just a sign of those days. I can imagine that builders today are still very unpolitically correct. Australians are world renowned for being completely and totally unpolitically correct, unless you're sort of in a profession that needs you to be. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, as long as the receiving end is accepting the unpolitically correctness with the same attitude as it's given. That's the word I was thinking of. So, and most do. When you come to Australia, you soon realise that we're a very sweary country, but it's not, I mean, you know, for the most part, not all of us, you know, I mean, I'm not saying everybody swears like a sailor, but we are quite a sweary country, and we are very unpolitically correct. But we're not unpolitically correct to be mean, rude, nasty, or horrible to people. It's just the way we are. It's, yeah, I mean, yeah. And, I think Australia is probably one of the very few places you can still come to and see a lot of unpolitically correct behaviour. And for the most part, obviously, like I say, professionally, we try and contain ourselves and not be, un-PC, but it's very hard for us because, we show our love differently. What can I say? But anyway, that was my high school's sweetheart's dad. He was just so happy of being accepted into the Australian Builders Association, whatever. My dad worked in the building game, and yeah, and my dad was an Englishman, so he was called a pommy, bastard. It's just, we were all poms. If you were British, you were a pom, and that was all there was to that. Once you accepted that, it wasn't an insult, you were fine with it. You just had to realise that it, you just had to understand that it wasn't an insult. But yeah. But anyway, I digress, sort of, I guess. I can't even remember what I was talking about. I don't know. I just blather on and hope you're still watching. Or maybe I hope you're not still watching at this stage if you're easily offended. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't say those things to offend anybody by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah. So, 226 subscribers. That's almost a quarter of the way. We're getting up to a quarter of the way to my 1,000. I've actually measured how much of the blanket I've actually done, and then multiply when I was at 200 rows, 200 subscribers. I measured the width, and I think the crochet blanket is going to be about 150 centimeters long. I haven't measured the width. And the knitted blanket was going to be about 110 centimeters long. So that's a good size. That's, but the knitted blanket is wider, I know, than the crochet blanket. So it might work out that they'll both sort of be similar sizes, but just with the lines going in a different direction. So we'll see. I do have to measure the lengths. Maybe I should do that now. I'm almost at the end of the row. I could measure the length on this one and see, because I'm curious. But yeah, if you know of any good links to any, good baby patterns, please put the link to the pattern, not the pattern or anything like that, but put the link to the pattern in the comments for me, and I'll check them out, because I really am wanting to do as much as I can, because my daughter and her fiance and baby will be in England for at least another 2 years, so I won't get to see my little baby grandchild until they are about 2. That'll be a bit sad, but I can make them stuff. So I'm gonna make, and of course so they'll be there for Christmas. which means I get to make baby's first Christmas stuff, and I get to make the baby a sun bunny, and all sorts of other stuff. I've got to be careful I don't slip up and say what baby is. It's very difficult when you're talking not to say, you know, she or he, or, you know, and I hate saying it because, well, you know, it is, you know, is a little bit negative. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see if we can measure. Now, when I usually measure something really wide or long, I fold it in half and I just measure it in half and then double it. Is that my little Hobie tape measure? It goes clink, clunk, 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 clunk. It's a clunky thing. Oops, that's inches. I'm doing centimeters. Let me... So 77, oh dear, 77 centimeters wide. Where's my calculator again? 77 multiplied by... Oh, okay. So that's going to be 154 centimeters wide. And according to what I measured earlier, and that's about 64 inches, I think. So it's going to be about 64 by 64. And when I measured 10, 20, 30, hang on, 200, 10, 20, 30, 40, and when I see 40 is 30 centimeters, 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 5, yeah, by 5, yeah, is 150. So that's going to be this is going to be very square. That's good. I don't know about the knitting one. Now I want to do the knitting one. Now I want to do the knitting one again. Okay, get the knitting one out, Sam. Okay, sorry people, you have to suffer through this with me because I'm very curious now. Okay, so it's 20, 30, 40. So let's have a look. It's 40. So it's 17 centimeters multiplied by 5 is 85 centimeters long. Yeah, okay. So how wide is it going to be? See, it's a lot wider than it is longer. A lot. And I can't really fold this one in half. Because, yeah, that's going to be harder. I can't do them. I can't measure it because I haven't got a long enough cable to spread it all the way out. But as you can, you know, it's really... 80, that can't be right. So 85, and I said 110, didn't I? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. That's not going to be square, obviously, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's going to be square or not. I've also got to put an envelope border on both of these to get rid of all the ends, because I'm not going to sew in all the ends. There's no need to sew in all the ends when I can just make an envelope border for them. And if this one ends up being, you know, I can sort of square it out maybe by making one side or two sides of the envelope border wider than the other two, just to sort of square it out a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, oh dear, I've waffled for almost an hour. But that's because you're getting two videos in one. See, that's my excuse. And then I had to go back on to making a sun bunny. I'm making a sun bunny. not for the baby. This isn't for the baby. This is for somebody else. I'm making one. Somebody who needs one. Who I feel deserves one and needs one and all the rest of it. But I wonder if that's enough. No, that won't be enough orange to do a row on the knitting one, will it? No, don't think so. Anyway, I'll wind this up and then I'll have to hunt down a colour that I haven't used in a while. Otherwise, I'm going to have to maybe just buy some colours to... Oh dear. Maybe I have to buy some colours. I'll do that later. That's now a yarn bath. Yeah, I'll buy some colours to make, add to my scrap blanket. So it's not going to be really a scrap blanket. It's going to be use up my scraps, but add some bought yarn to it to add a bit of variety in colours. That's a very long title. I'd rather just call it the scrap blanket. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm a bit silly today. I'm in a very good, obviously, mood. I've spent a few days adjusting to the news and getting overly excited and looking for patterns and whatnot. And yeah, so I hope you all take care and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.